Today's news, this is huge. Volk versus Lopez for the Unified Championship. No interim belt here. The real championship.
What would Volk beating Lopez do for his legacy? More than you might imagine, actually. There's value in terms of what it means to get back into the win column at this point. There's value, as I mentioned, in terms of the history, being his age, becoming a two-time champion, what it would signify to be that good and ahead of your peers while they are surging and you're coming off of losses. I actually think that this one, for it being 5 rounds, is extra dangerous against a guy like Diego Lopez. If Volkanovski ends up winning this title, not only does he become a 2-time champ, which itself is quite important, he'd be the first person 55 and down to win a UFC title over the age of 35. That's not been done before. So like, this is a great headlining fight. It's a huge test. There's no question in my mind Volkanovski has been better and is better, but he's had his chin tapped badly in the last 2 fights. He's been dropped in multiple fights before that.
This is a very, very interesting fight, and it's very much the right fight. We'll get to a breakdown later. If it's going to be Lopez, he better get his ass out of there in the first 15 minutes. You do not want to go to championship rounds with Volkanovski, no matter what kind of a run you are, no matter how young you are, how good you are. Don't see Volkanovski in the 4th and 5th round if you still got business to do.
I think that's going to be a really good fight. I mean, Volk's kind of, you know, he hasn't been on a winning streak, and the other guy has. I think the other guy's got the momentum. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tougher fight than I think people think. Only because of the way, you know, Volk's getting up there now, and you know, I don't know where his head's at. But I will say this. Like again, I always say this only just to prove a point. But if it was 5 years ago, I think Volkanovski would win the fight. Volkanovski 100% could still fight. This kid seems like he's on a roll. I'm dying. I'd like to see it. I want to see the fight.
Extremely hard fight to handicap. You know, a lot of it is because what Volkanovski's going to show up. You know, is he going to go, well, okay, I need to protect my chin. Let me play it conservatively here and try to outpoint him and be the strategist that he is. But then you have Diego Lopez, who's going to be a fireball. He's going to go out there and he's going to try to find that chin of Volkanovski early and often until that final bell, because that's kind of the way he fights.
Diego Lopez is going to look for that chin and will most likely land at some point. He's tall, he's lanky, he's big for the division. He's no slouch on the ground. He's a finisher as well. He's accrued a lot of experience now in some big fights in the UFC. So it's really tough at this point. Without doing tape study, I might be leaning towards Diego Lopez at this point.
I think that Volkanovski can handle Lopez on the ground. I do believe that. I think if we've seen him so many times get out of some crazy submissions with some great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts, I'm not so concerned there. You know, but I think on the feet is where I kind of want to see him. I want to see him outmaneuver Diego Lopez, and I think those first 10 minutes are going to be critical, and after that he can kind of go into cruise control.
I think Volkanovski is going to put the beats on Lopez, but I would have said that more respectfully had him and his manager not tried to attack me as if I said anything disrespectful to them. Volkanovski is coming with a vengeance. He is in phenomenal shape. What he does great versus what Diego Lopez does great is not the same. Volk is super well-rounded. He's strong in every single department. Maybe not a submission specialist, but he's very hip to the grappling game, where Diego Lopez is a very good grappler, but when it comes to striking, he is an all-or-nothing guy in the first round. There's no pacing for Diego Lopez. Same thing I said about Diego. He's an all-or-nothing blitz type of fighter. He runs at you, sprints at you in the first minute or two, and if he clips you, he smells blood in the water, and he's very, very good at finishing fights from there. If that is his game plan against Volkanovski, and he has no plan B, Diego Lopez is going to lose this fight. There's no other way to say it. He's not going 5 rounds toe-to-toe with Alex Volkanovski. It's just not happening. Again, we have that thing with the chin. Once that chin is broken in, and you make a quick turnaround like that, and you get it broken in again, of course he took the time off, but we don't know what he's going to look like coming back.
Couple things. Volk coming off 2 knockout losses in a row. 2 is, I think the longer the fight goes, I think it favors Volkanovski.
I agree.
3, the guys that Volkanovski's had problems with are the guys that have really good submissions. Brian Ortega, the guillotine, the triangle, all those things. Diego Lopez has really good Yeah. Really good jiu-jitsu. Because Volk, I think he's going to have to survive that first 2 rounds, like how Brian Ortega did. We're going to find out. But I think that if Volk can get it into the late second round, third round, I could see him starting to possibly start to take over.
Volk is fighting Diego Lopez for the belt. Volkanovski, I'm not exactly sure what his age is, but he is over 35 or 35. Yeah, he's 36 years old. Fighters below 170 pounds, no, 155 and below, 0-14 in title fights. 0-14. But I gotta tell you, as much as I love this fight and I love Alexander Volkanovski, he is a guy I have a relationship with. It feels a bit to me, CHAEL, based on what you said. He's 1-3 in his last 4 fights. You were against the idea that he would get a title opportunity. He's getting it now. It feels like he's in there. If he becomes champ, no skin, nothing lost. But if he loses, he propels the young guy forward. Now Diego Lopez is truly the featherweight champion because he just beat who could possibly be the greatest featherweight champion of all time.
We don't know what Volk we're going to see.
I know.
You know, he's had a lot of time off since he lost the belt.
Yeah.
And he is aging. What is he now?
36, turning 37 later this year. After the fight,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, it's like, taking all that away, I got Volk all day. I think his grit, his tenacity, his skill set is just so, that's why he was so dominant in that division. That's why he beat Max the way he did twice. No, 3 times.
3 times.
On it? Yeah, like, because he's just so good.
Diego's just going to walk you down, and he's just going to throw bombs at you. And he doesn't care if you try to shoot on him because he has good jiu-jitsu. But I think Volk, experience in the superior fight, he's going to know. Because he had moments in there, right? He was jabbing and moving, just sticking and moving, sticking and moving. And I was watching Diego because Yair was supposed to fight him. We thought Yair was going to fight him. So I'm watching tape on him, and I'm looking at him, and I'm just like, he has that chaos that he loves. But I think Volk's experience is going to be too much for him. I think he's going to be smarter in the earlier rounds, avoid the big shots earlier, make it, kind of like what he did when he fought Aldo, pushing him against the fence, holding him there for a little bit, draining him a little bit. Then once it gets to the 4th and 5th round, those are the championship rounds. And I do think that Diego Lopez will get tired in those later rounds because he does go so full force in the early rounds.
But you know what? I did a video on my YouTube channel saying that Diego Lopez would win, but then I watch all the fights and Volkanovski does a very good job against like strikers in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I don't think Diego has that takedown defense, so I don't know. I think it's a good fight for Volkanovski.
I think it's a fun fight. I think it's one that's going to be, we're going to see exactly where Volkanovski is at in his career. Because I'm going to be honest when I say it. I'm not saying that Diego Lopez can't beat him. The prime Volkanovski, Diego Lopez wasn't going to beat. I don't see him beating the prime Volkanovski. Can he beat this one? Because Volkanovski was so good at being a guy that handled good quality strikers. And then when he got people that brawled, and for the most part, Diego in the stand-up brawls. He's got a good ground game, but he throws big looping shots. And man, Volkanovski used to eat guys up with counters off of them throwing big looping shots. He's really good with it. So looking at it, I would have said Volkanovski of the past, not a doubt in my mind who's going to win. Not saying that on this one because we're going to see. We're going to see exactly what Alexander Volkanovski shows up.
But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this one. Very excited. Excited to show everyone. Obviously people are like, he's old, he's done. I hope people are thinking that. Everyone knows I love the underdog story. Everyone knows I love to prove people wrong. I think Lopez is in for a very, very hard fight. He's a gamer. He's a great dude. I got a lot of respect for him. A very nice fella. I'm sure he's expecting to go out there and win the belt. But I'm sorry, mate, that ain't happening. But good on you for being in this position. Happy you're getting the opportunity to fight for the belt. But I'm still here. You ain't having it. Sorry, mate. But hey, I appreciate every single one of you. I still think a lot of people believe in me and know I'm going to go out there and look great anyway. But for those who don't, you have every right to think that until I change your opinion. And that's exactly what I'm going to do April 12th. So cannot wait for that.